This is Joe Coleman, the new television champion, the super soldier, the genetic jackpot, the Jack Knight, the Tan Lantern, and the master of the universe.
This is the beast of nature, the freak, Rob Terry.
Hi, I'm OVW official Josh Ashcraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at Triple Threat Talk. I'm Dean Hill.
This is Ricky Chevy, and I'm the blue-collar millionaire.
I'm Mr. Peck. God, that's great every time. Spectacular.
We're the Broner Brothers.
I am the One Girl Revolution, Taylor Hendricks.
This is Brandon Espinoza.
I'm the Assassin.
I'm Bruno Raul Limata.
I'm James Moose Thomas.
I'm Shiloh Jones. My name is Ron Head. I'm the announcer for OVW.
I'm Jamin Olivencia.
I'm Alex Silva. I'm Rocco Bellagio.
I'm Kerry Bodie, the Ohio Valley Wrestling fan advocate.
Raphael Constantine. I'm Rand Perez. My name's Muhammad Ali. Baez.
I'm Paradise.
This is Jack Black. This is Ohio Valley Wrestling. Referee Chris Sharp.
This is Sexy Sean Casey. I'm Chris Silvio.
This is Michael Hayes. This is Jason West.
And you're watching Triple Threat Talk.
To episode 84 of the internet web sensation Triple Threat Talk. I'm here with Mr. Big B, Brandon Namiro, and just Kendra.
Hello.
If you don't change that name, it's gonna stick.
I like it.
Huh?
I like it.
You like just
Kendra? That's just me.
I think she's trying to plan for a talk show career. She's already
Welcome to the Just Kendra show.
on today's show.
On our show today, we're going to be talking about
a lot of stuff.
We're going to get your views or questions in the first segment, followed by headlines, which include but are not limited to a bad day for basketball fans in the state of Kentucky.
More Manti Te'o.
Yeah, some more Manti Te'o stuff, some Super Bowl stuff, some Australian Open stuff, and then we're going to break it down and give you our wrestling coverage, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the Super Bowl next week. So maybe a short show today. We'll play it by ear, see what happens.
But never happens.
Yeah, it never happens. But as you can see, Mr. Postmaster Jones Jimmy Biggers is not with us today. He will be back with us next week.
So we got more room this week.
That's right. Yeah, we got. I can move.
You can breathe.
I can
elbow room.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
So let's peel everything back and let's answer some user questions, shall we?
So it's user.
User questions.
Thank you.
From the Jeffrey Caster.
Okay.
What sports video game do you think is good as Madden, past or present?
It's Big Corn 16.
From Big Corn 16. What sports video game do you think is as good as Madden, past or present?
Sorry, Jeffrey Caster.
Sorry, Jeffrey Caster.
Well, you know, it's Madden is the juggernaut of sports games. I mean, John Madden. I mean, the game's been around for over 20 years. It's coming. 2014's coming out this year again. It comes out every year. I don't think there's a game that's in terms of a juggernaut. It's not going to happen. That game is a stranglehold on all sports. I mean, for crying out loud, the NFL signed a deal with EA Sports to have be the only NFL game. But in terms of sports games, is as good. In terms of maybe as a sports game, not as a juggernaut, but I think maybe the NBA 2K games, because for people that don't know,
that was Kendra's answer. You stole her answer.
Oh no, it's fine.
I was going to say, to go into a sports game thing. When they made the 2K games, they made 2K games for college basketball, football, basketball, whatever, and they made ESPN NFL 2K5. It was better than Madden that year, and Madden's like, no, that's not going to happen. No one's going to be better than us. So they signed a deal with the NFL, and then 2K's kind of like, well, nothing we can do about it now. So now that's kind of where they're at. The only football game you can buy out there is Madden. If you don't like Madden, you're kind of out of the loop for football games. But I think the NBA games are pretty good. NBA 2K. NBA Live's not that good. NBA 2K is pretty good. The NHL games are good. MLB 11, MLB The Show on the PlayStation. If you have a PlayStation, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
I like the hockey games. Those are pretty good.
I've just seen like my friends who are addicted to video games. They play Madden and they play the NBA game, and You know, it depends on what you. If you're a football player, then you're completely mad, and if you are a basketball player, then you're going to want to play the NBA game. But the graphics are amazing. Like you can make yourself. Like I guess you upload a picture of yourself onto the game, and you are the player.
Yeah,
so
they've done that recently.
As far as graphics, they're equal, but I guess Madden is. You got John Madden, and he's awesome. So.
Exactly. He tells you exactly how to play the game.
Exactly.
I think I saw him on a commercial not too long ago.
Oh yeah.
Does all this make sense to you?
Yeah, when he's actually acting like a coach instead of a joke. Against all odds, 20. What are your thoughts on El Generico signing with WWE? You asked us this last week, and we didn't answer it.
Wants to know.
Not out of disrespect, but because we didn't really know anything about El Generico signing with it. Apparently, Big B knows maybe a little bit more than I do about this.
I mean, I haven't heard anything like WWE announced like we've signed him. Like when CM Punk got signed, you knew it. When Daniel Bryan got signed, you knew it. El Generico, I haven't heard anything from them on that front where they said, okay, we signed this guy. But, I mean, it's all rumored out there. He had his last show. He had his last indie show, I think, last weekend. So everyone was, like, saying goodbye to him on Twitter. It was like, hashtag thank you, El Generico, for all he's done. He's a very good wrestler. He's wrestled, Daniel Bryan numerous times, and CM Punk, and myself, Kevin Steen. So I've seen El Generico wrestle. He's very good. I mean, any of those guys from ROH, they're multi-talented. They know what they're doing in the ring, and WWE wants to sign the best guys. So that's why they get someone like him from ROH that's, an established company lifestyle like Punk and Bryan, so they know what they're getting when if they get this guy, which it looks like they will.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'd be a good sign from everything I've heard about him. So I mean, it's definitely positive feedback from me. So, Buck in 5. Besides Mick Foley, who would you want to see go in the Hall of Fame this year?
Well, we've actually learned now that Bob Backlund will be in as well, Mr. Backlund. It's tough to see who they're going to put in because it's they're going to be in New York and New Jersey this year, New York, New Jersey, whatever. And they want people kind of from that area. Mick Foley's from Long Island, and I think Bob Backlund's from that area too. Did you see the Brooklyn Brawler getting in?
Greatest jobber of all time.
I don't know.
Oh, they're making a push for him.
Yeah, Brooklyn Brawler.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere.
I really can't think of a definitive, besides Mick Foley, a big, time like New York star that I could think maybe going to the Hall of Fame. I don't know who they would put in. I mean, it seems like Mick Foley's going to be the lead person in that class. It seems like that's what they're doing. I mean, I don't know. Who would I like to see? I mean, a lot of people like to see Owen Hart, but that's not going to happen. I like to see, a bunch of other people, but, it depends on what they want to do. WWE, I'd like to see, they're trying to get Bruno Sammartino. Triple H is trying to strike that deal. So it depends what WWE wants to do. I'd like to see Sammartino, but that's up to, the big people up there, so.
What do you think are some wrestling matches and some sports games that a sports fan needs to see before they die?
I can't really comment on the wrestling part, but a game that you must go to before you die, before you really do anything, before the season is over, you should go check out a Duke and UNC game. That's a sports game that you have to see because the camaraderie there and the rivalry is so big and alive. Like, I want to say it's almost bigger than UK U of L. It is huge. Like, the kids camp out for 3 or 4 months outside of the ticket box office to get the ticket so they can just go see the game. And it snows, it rains and everything down there, and they want those tickets that bad. And the atmosphere is crazy. Like, heaven might be that sweet. It's like, it was awesome. Do you hear me? Like, and I'm not only saying that because I'm a Duke fan. I'm saying it even, to
it's a big rivalry.
To the UNC fans, it's the way you live. Like, you must be
something.
They got to get the nickname the Cameron Crazies from somewhere.
It's that serious.
Yeah. I would agree with that actually because I think UK U of L is one you definitely need to check out. Duke, UNC. I think as far as games that have happened in the past, you have to go. You have to see, if you want to see a high-scoring offense in a football game, you have to go back and watch the '94 Super Bowl. And I'm not just saying it because the 49ers were in it. I'm saying because it was a high-powered offense. Mm-hmm. The best offense, many have said, from the NFL, led by Steve Young and Jerry Rice, going off against the Chargers, who were very good back then as well.
They didn't look that good in the Super Bowl, but they were.
Yeah, and it was the butt of several jokes from SNL. The game hasn't even started yet, and San Francisco's already winning like 1,000,000-0.
Yeah,
they did that gag for like a month.
Yeah, they were They were a quick strike offense.
Yeah, they were. I mean, at any time they could be in the end zone. You just didn't know.
That was. If you were a Niners fan back then, you really were living in the spotlight for sure.
I mean, I think that there's several other like games that you should see. Like if you go. People always say that a Penguins game is a Penguins or a Predators game.
I'm sure Jimmy would agree with that.
And I know Jimmy would say, and I would even have to agree with this one, you have to check out the Daytona 500.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's awesome.
I would love to go there.
Yeah. In terms of wrestling matches, I mean, there's a bunch. I mean, Michaels Taker 25 and 26. You need to watch those. Michaels again, Bret Hart WrestleMania 12. I mean, just anything Shawn Michaels.
Anything Shawn.
You're pretty much going to be thoroughly enjoying Steve Austin, Rock, any of those matches. You know, those features are very good. In terms of sports games, I agree with him. Anything Niners, 90s, you're going to be thoroughly enjoying. For me, actually, you know, even though I like Roger Federer, they deem it the greatest match ever played, and it was phenomenal. Nadal, Federer, Wimbledon 08, I want to say, 08 or 07. Nadal won in 5 sets. I think it was almost 5 hours. It was dark. At Wimbledon, it was a match that you had to just see to believe. It was the king of the grass court, Roger Federer, facing this new up-and-coming guy. He was still established, Nadal, but he wasn't where he was now. And he came into his house and said, I'm taking this title. Because no one ever did that since Bjorn Borg, where they won the French Open and they won Wimbledon. And Nadal was able to do that. So it was all that wrapped into one. And the biggest stage in tennis that is Wimbledon. It's their hallowed grounds. You know, it's been around since God knows when, and to have that match there going that as long as it did, it was just something to be witnessed. And they run all the time during like Wimbledon season on ESPN Classic, so it's always on. So.
All right, good stuff there.
Oh yeah, check out the Super Bowl too.
Yeah, the Super Bowl is always a good one. Richard Kenobi, Big B.
Yes.
Who do you think will win the Super Bowl this year? Well, I think we'll all want to answer that, not just Big B.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Miami Dolphins. Oh wait.
Take a stab. I mean, you want to? We can break it down eventually.
I'll break it
just
down.
for a first win, what do you think?
Ravens.
Ravens?
Yeah. You know, when she said last week, I completely agree with 100%. It's like she was rooting for Ray Lewis, and it just seems like he is destined to go there and win a Super Bowl before he leaves. It's like look at this. I know we're really going to delve into it later, but look at the way he's gone to the Super Bowl. Okay, first game they played against the Colts, who were a high-powered offense. They were 2-14 last year, 11-5 with Andrew Luck, arguably the Rookie of the Year, and they beat him easily. Luck doesn't get in the end zone once. They scored 9 points on 3 field goals, and Vinatieri missed a couple of them. Then you go into Denver, who was the clear favorite to get the Super Bowl in the AFC against Peyton Manning, who's had the best year of possibly his career after a neck injury, and Peyton Manning's like, you know, on 3rd and 7, I'm going to run the ball, and then they're going to take it, and Flacco bombs it again, and they win the game. And it's just like, that was an impossible feat. Then they go into Foxborough, and New England's best shutdown corner, Keith Talib, gets hurt, and it's destined to be. It's like there's been all these things that he's expected to maybe lose. They weren't the favorite. I think they were the favorite in the Indy game. They weren't favored in Denver. They weren't the favorite in Baltimore and New England. It's just like it's like it's supposed to be this way for Ray Lewis. That's why I picked Baltimore. It just seems like it's supposed to be.
And I think it's like awesome leadership. Like that. Like he's a leader. Yeah. He's a veteran, but he's a leader. And you know, I mean, when you're about to retire, you could just be like, oh well, whatever, because he's gonna be rich for the rest of his life. You know, still getting paid, but he's bringing that necessary leadership. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He might not be the fastest, hardest tackling person out there, which, I mean, people can beg to differ about that. But he has the necessary leader. He's hungry. You know what I mean? And that's what it takes. And sometimes it's not the fastest. It's just the person who has the most endurance. And I just think that they're pumped up enough.
Yeah,
you know, he cried. You know, he's very emotional, and there's been a lot of jokes out there about that. But that's hard, and that's stuff that you can't teach, and that's stuff that his coaches didn't have to, teach him. So I want it, and I'm not a Ravens fan, but I would like to see that.
Yeah, I know who you want, so.
I mean, I want to see the Niners win. I mean, if you think about it, though, it's not just because it's the Niners. They have the most impressive record there is.
Yeah, and the
5-0
and the funny thing you think about is, I mean, no one really thinks about this with the Baltimore Ravens, but they're undefeated too. They won 1 Super Bowl. And
but the Saints are also in that category.
Well, I'm just saying though, if you look, I mean, it's a valid thing to look at, because even though the Ravens are 1-0 Super Bowl, can they stop the 6-0, the 5-0 streak of the 49ers? They're undefeated in Super Bowl. They haven't lost one.
Right.
So they're going for a 6-1. 6-0 is impressive.
Right.
Yeah.
So can Baltimore stop that? That's a lot. That's a lot of pressure on San Francisco, I think.
It's a lot, but also people are putting all this pressure on Ray Lewis, and you got to keep in mind, Ray Lewis does not score the points on the team.
Absolutely.
That is Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
And frankly, when I look at Joe Flacco, yes, lately he's been on fire.
Yeah.
I will concede that.
Yeah.
And I have faith in Joe Flacco. As a matter of fact, I like the Ravens because I look at it as the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right.
And I do not like the Steelers at all. So by default, I am a huge Ravens fan.
Right, yeah.
But I'm a bigger 49ers fan, but I can look at this objectively, though, because both of these teams I like.
Yeah.
The Joe Flacco that shows up that day may not be the Joe Flacco
he could do terrible.
He could, if he does terrible, if the Ravens make a mistake offensively, that Niners defense will make them pay.
The funny thing is, though, I heard a stat last week that the Ravens are going to win this game. I can tell you right now they're going to win because there's a stat that said quarterbacks that have gone to the Super Bowl with 8 or more touchdowns and no interceptions, they've all won the Super Bowl. All of them. Steve Young, Montana, Drew Brees, they've all won.
There's another stat out there. Every time the 49ers have made it to the Super Bowl, they've won.
There you go.
It's some big legacies that both of these teams are going to have to either live up to or bury on that game. So, you know, it's some big shoes.
Yeah,
so.
it was a game we should have saw last year, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody wanted to see it last year, but this year, it's the Horror Bowl. This will be the highest rated Super Bowl in history.
Last year it wasn't meant to be. Just wasn't meant to be.
Well, this will be the highest rated Super Bowl in history. Coming up on a break. After the break, we will finish up user questions and break into headlines. Stay tuned to Triple Threat Talk.
No one expected me to be here. No one expected me to be a starter, to hit game-winning shots, or even play in this league. Well, I'm not here to live up to anyone else's expectations. I'm here to live up to mine.
And welcome back to Triple Threat Talk, everybody. I am Gary the Dr. Lockhart, next to Jess Kendra and Big B, Brandon Amir.
Just Kendra.
Richard Kenobi also asking, Doctor and Postmaster, did you see the match between Goku and Superman? WTH. No, I did not see it, but I read a while ago.
What is that?
I read it. Back in the day, Wizard magazine did a who would win kind of deal, and there was like mass confusion on why the two of them were fighting anyways. Like they didn't realize that they were both good-hearted and good-spirited. And basically Goku like gets a sucker punch in on Superman, but after that it's all Superman until they realize that they're both good guys, because everybody knows that in Dragon Ball Z there's more talking during the fighting than I've ever seen anything.
Like a soap opera.
Yeah, it's like a soap opera for cartoons. But I did not see the match, but I read years ago about it.
The only thing I knew about this thing was that when the world was supposed to end on 12/1 whatever, they were going to release it on that day, but they didn't. They released it like a week ago, and I heard it was like a 30-minute video, and it was like a whole thing, and and I heard Superman won. People didn't like Goku, were all like, you know, groaning and moaning and kind of like going, "Oh, that's not fair," and it's one of those things. So.
Yeah. But other than that, I think it is now time to anoint our viewer of the week. What do you think?
I think so.
Was it my turn this week?
I guess you went last week since she was the new person.
You know what? Since it got us talking about it a little bit, I'm going to have to give it to Richard Kenobi.
I knew.
Asking about the Super Bowl. So, Richard Kenobi, you are this week's Triple Threat Talk Viewer of the Week.
I thought you were going to say episode 84.
Big B?
So it's kind of like falling behind.
hit the background music.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Doctor, give me the news. I got the bad
case of the headline blues. Oh my god.
Internet sensation.
Oh my god.
It's the Gary. Oh, yeah.
It's not.
You gotta work that. Work the hips. Work the hips.
I'll tell you right now. If Kaepernick, well, he doesn't do that. He does the Kaepernick. But if someone from the 49ers scores a touchdown, they do that dance, you're probably gonna like lose it, right?
Yeah, he is.
If someone does that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Someone does that.
For sure.
Kaepernick won't do it. He does the Kaepernick.
He does Kaepernick.
He does Kaepernick.
I got trademarked.
Yeah, it is. It's a T-shirt now if you want.
It's a T-shirt.
Anyway, so.
Headlines this week. The Lakers are talking some absurd thing about trading Dwight Howard. I mean, from the last I heard, this conversation was nicked in the butt.
Right. He's not happy there, I can tell you.
He's not happy, but Kobe is trying to get to make. I mean, Kobe's even said, "I've sacrificed a couple shots," which you can go back and look.
Yeah,
yes, he has.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
And you know, you can see that he has sacrificed a little bit.
Yeah.
To try to make a little bit of an effort to see what
not working,
which is not like Kobe.
Right.
That's something that he doesn't do. And for Dwight Howard, the grass is not greener on the other side. Like, I don't know. Like, he went to a team with several superstars, and you know, with Steve Nash going there and everything. And it's like, you should have stayed in Orlando.
Yeah.
Like, you were the face of.
Well, he didn't like the coach in Orlando.
Like,
he didn't like the coach.
Well, you gotta sacrifice.
Well,
you know?
LA wasn't his first choice. I think Brooklyn was his first choice.
I can't tell you how many good coaches have been fired because they didn't get along with the player.
It's just, you know, it's. I think, you know, I don't think they're going to trade Dwight Howard. I don't think they will. But it's just, you know, there's so many problems going on there. Mike D'Antoni's not working for that offense. He's just, he's not the right fit. He's a good coach, D'Antoni. He's a good, because he worked in Phoenix. He won like 60 games with Phoenix, so he knows what he's doing in terms of an offense like that. But this offense, the team they have in LA, it's not working with him. He's putting Pau Gasol on the bench and having Earl Clark play him. He's having Pau Gasol just throw up jumps. That's not what Pau Gasol does.
No.
So it's you know, if you're a Laker fan, I feel bad for you because they're not making the playoffs. They look as bad as any team in the West that I've seen in a long time. They have so much talent. They have Kobe Bryant, Dwight Howard, Steve Nash. It's just like it's just not working. It's something that's not working.
You know what it is?
What?
Egos.
And I just feel like I never thought in my lifetime that I would ever see the Lakers not be a championship team. Like,
well, it's in the playoffs.
Do you remember those times? Like, I just knew that when it was Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the Western Conference Finals every year. Like, I never even expected. I never thought they would be this horrible.
And you know what it is too?
It's a slap in the face.
It's Mike D'Antoni. It's his inability to capitalize on a good thing.
Right.
They should have gone with Phil Jackson.
Well, I think
Phil Jackson can put egos aside.
Yes, he can.
Yeah, I think that's
the greatest.
I think it's partially. I've been hearing it's partially Jim Buss doesn't like Phil Jackson to get along with him.
At some point,
you got to put that behind you for your team. It's just because D'Antoni's not working. Were they going to fire another coach now?
At some point,
3 coaches.
At some point, you have to say, I don't like this guy, but at the end of the day, it's about making money, and winning championships is how you win money.
So, like, what do they do now? Do they fire D'Antoni and pay a third? They're still paying Mike Brown. They're still paying him. And they're paying D'Antoni, obviously.
I think you go on your hands and knees to Phil Jackson.
Absolutely. Because that man, he knows what he's doing. He's coached the best.
Yeah.
This is just hands down. You know what I mean?
It's just not working.
Facts are facts. Phil Jackson's at the Lakers right now. They've got like 10 losses. Maybe.
It's that. They're right there. They're right there with the Clippers and the Thunder.
And nobody's smelling themselves. He's all like, who are you? Like, you know who I am. Like, he definitely puts egos in check, so.
Manti Te'o, man, his girlfriend's showing up everywhere. She's right behind us, actually.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I heard from that. I did try to do some research. Like, I think he I don't know. I'm torn.
Right.
Because he's saying that he really, really, really like thought she was real.
Right.
And whoever, did this little thing to him, like, it was a joke, but the way that he carried on in the interviews is what has me like, okay.
He did embellish on some things.
He did. Like, makes you not
this person that did it to him, Renaya Tuiasosopo. That's a hard name to say. Renaya Tuiasosopo. He's done it. That person's done it before. Right. So it's not the first time this has been done. So this person's obviously experienced, and the girl came out. That was the picture. She said he used my pictures without me knowing. So he obviously did this. It's just here's the thing about the Manti Te'o situation. He wasn't much part of the hoax as we thought he was. Like, he didn't completely fabricate everything. He lied to his dad saying that he met her, which he did not because she doesn't exist.
And he lied to the media saying she was at the games.
Yeah, he lied to the games.
You know, she's at some of these games.
So he embellished on a lot of things towards this thing. So in a way, he was part of the lie. In a way. Not a big one, in a way, he was part of the lie. And then, now looking forward to April, it's like, how does this look in terms of NFL draft? Not saying that, because it's not that this psychological situation might hurt his draft status. It's they look at how he played in that last game in Alabama, and he played awful. He missed a lot of tackles, and that's what they look at. They look at how he performed in the big games, and he didn't really perform. He didn't show up in that big game. So it's a tough situation for that young man because he's a good football player and a good kid, but this situation just completely ruined him right now.
I don't know. I'm kind of with Kendra on this. I think I'm torn. Part of you has to say that he had something to do with this because
he's not an idiot.
He's not an idiot. I don't see Manti Te'o being taken in a catfish scheme. I don't know.
He was. Sort of.
It's possible, but at the same time, they've got like him going into the guy's van on camera, and maybe this was fabricated. Maybe it wasn't. But the fact of the matter is, the kid is going to go on to the next level.
Yeah, someone will take him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, either way, all this might have been employed to get people to get sympathy for him, but the kid can play.
Yeah, he can play.
I mean, the story about his grandmother was enough to generate sympathy for him.
That's real.
I mean, and that really happened. That's not like fake.
No, that's not fake. No.
Around town, UK and U of L go down. U of L suffering back-to-back losses.
God.
I, for one, am sick and tired of Alex Poitras and Archie Goodwin for the Cats screwing everything up. They played horribly last night.
Let me ask you this. As a UK fan, though, sit there, be calm.
Okay.
All right. Ask the Pepsi. Answer your question. I'm going to be honest with you. Are you prepared, Gary, are you prepared to go to the NIT?
We're not going to the NIT.
Oh.
You don't think you're going there?
No.
You don't think you're getting
I know we're not. The defending champions, they go to the tournament. We might have like a 15 seed, but we're going to be there.
Really?
I mean, we could roll out of bed and win 10 SEC games. Because the conference is dreadful.
Well, you're the only one that thinks that way, because I heard a lot of people on Facebook when they lost to...
people on Facebook are not us.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm telling you.
Well, I'm just saying. The Kentucky fans are kind of saying that we're going to NIT.
Well, we're not going to the NIT, and I think Calipari will find a way to reach all these kids.
Yeah.
I mean, Nerlens Noel is playing out of his mind. Like, he had 8 blocks yesterday. He leads the NCAA in blocks and rebounds. That's going to get you somewhere.
Yeah.
And the days that Archie Goodwin and Ryan Harrow and Alex Poitras decide to play, they're good days. I mean, you're looking at a team that can score anywhere between 50 points like they did last night and 97 points against Auburn.
Yeah.
And it's a team that it's a troubled team. Yeah. They're just having trouble getting it together.
Yeah.
And a lot of the situations are because of Archie Goodwin making bad choices. And I don't mean to single him out, but he does.
Right.
He tried, like, for example, Kentucky last night had a breakaway against Alabama, was going down they were going down the court, breakaway and numbers. Ryan Harrow opened at the front, Archie Goodwin keeps the ball. Keeps the ball. You pass the ball in that situation. You pass it to Harrow and you get the layup, or see if his tiny little rear end can jump up there and slam that ball in that hoop. Mm-hmm. You do one of the two things. Archie Goodwin has got to make better decisions. Yeah. Just like Russ Smith on the other end of the ball. Russ Smith is an amazing athlete, and I look forward to speaking with him. I really do. Yeah. But the fact is, when he plays like he did last night, it's no wonder U of L lost, because he is their go-to guy. Mm-hmm. Last night, Russ Smith proved that he is the best player on their team by not showing up at all. Yeah. Because when that happens, that shows you how much that one person means on that team. Absolutely. Gorky Zhang, great player. Mm-hmm. You know, Luke Hancock, great player. Swapshire, great player. But it comes down to Russ Smith.
It does.
And running the ball with Peyton Siva.
Don't talk about that.
That's what it comes down to.
They lost to they lost to an inferior team last night in Villanova. They were better than Villanova. Syracuse is very good. They have one of the best coaches ever in Jim Boeheim. Absolutely. But here's the thing, right? They have the lead. The game's back and forth. It's a very close game. They have the lead. Just protect the basketball. And what does Peyton Siva do? He's double covered. He throws it away. And that's the game. That's the game.
But Peyton Siva and Russ Smith need to get together and they need to support each other on this team. Yeah. Because I believe it. I believe that this U of L team can be something special. Yeah. They can be.
I think so.
A lot of people picked them.
We've seen this U of L team be something special. But the fact of the matter is, there are players on both teams that need to make better decisions in what they are making. Russ Smith can't go 2 out of 10.
No,
he can't go. He can't go the first half in foul trouble, and Rick Pitino will keep him on the bench because you know what? The kid does good things when he's on the court.
Yep.
Right, but another thing, I do agree. If you're a leader on a team and you have accepted that role, you've been ordained to be, a classified leader, then you do need to, show up. But in the event that they don't show up, other people need to step up. That's what it's about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can be the best of the best, but Michael Jordan had off nights. You know what I mean? He had Pippen. You know what I mean? Like,
Pippen,
I hate when people make that analogy, but you know what I mean?
Rodman, Steve Kerr, they all.
Everybody else need to step up. They need to do their job. Yeah, he might have went 2 for 10, but there should have been somebody else going 3 for 3, 4 for 4, 2 for 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the problem I have with that is that Peyton Siva is that leader.
Right.
He tries to be.
He tries to be at least. And, when one of them's having an off night, the other one needs to step up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as that.
You know what it seems like to me when Siva gets the ball? It seems like he runs, and it's like, it doesn't matter who's running, he just keeps running.
He needs to make better decisions with the ball. Yeah. It's hurting his draft stock because when people see that you can't decide to pass the ball, just like with Archie Goodwin, I'm not singling out Peyton Siva.
Yeah.
Just when you don't know how to pass the ball in a clutch situation that's going to get your team guaranteed 2 points.
It looks bad.
It looks bad. Yeah. It looks horrible.
In the draft, yeah.
Duke is #1 in the land, but not for long. They're going down tonight, so we can not even talk about that.
It was a nice run.
I was talking to a guy in the gym the other day, and he was like, well, what number? Somebody said something about Duke. I was like, actually, they're #1. Like, this is like 2 days ago. I was like, they're #1. He was like, no, I don't. So I was like, sir, they're #1. But now, clearly, I can eat those words.
U of L's assistant recruiter Clint Hurt facing severe ramifications on bylaw 10.1. Basically, what that means is from his Miami days, he was allocated in spending booster money, taking people to parties, taking people to other things. It's a huge no-no. Anytime you shell out money for a recruit or for a player, it's a huge no-no. Yeah. And all this stuff is coming out, but now it seems that the NCAA may have blown up their investigation. Details are coming out saying that internally some of these things were not done correctly. And we'll touch a little bit more about this and finish up headlines after the break. Stay tuned. Triple Threat Talk.
Take me back to 1999. Yuvo played jukebox. Need a better car? My Optima was ranked most appealing midsize sedan by J.D. Power & Associates.
Who are you?
I'm you from the future. You should be playing that game.
But all you did was dunk in that game.
Bingo. Yeah.
The Fresh Maker.
Welcome back to Triple Threat Talk. I'm Gary the Dr. Locker. Next to just Kendra and Big B, Brandon DeMuro. We're talking about the Clint Hurt situation here. What do you guys think about this? Is this... I mean, clearly this whole thing goes down to Nevin Shapiro when he was at Miami. His recruiting policies when he was at Miami. I don't think it's impossible for Clint Hurt to argue successfully that he inherited this. But the fact of the matter is, does U of L keep him? Or does U of L try to rid themselves of this to clear the school of any ramifications?
Honestly, I mean, I just feel like, yeah, he can argue that he inherited it, but as a fiduciary, when somebody trusts you to, run a program, to do things the right way, as a fiduciary, you are totally responsible. So he should have stepped up and spoke out. Like, no, I'm not going to run it that way. I don't care what you inherited it. And then now, by him coming to U of L, possibly tainting, and Pitino already had, you know, a big blow up last year with the whole, you know, mistress thing. So, I mean, honestly, they don't need anything like that. You know what I mean? Because it's just too risky. Like, you know, the #1 spot, Final Four, possible championship this year. No, because now the NCAA has gotten way too generous with throwing out fines, taking back championships, suspending programs. You know, they took Joe Paterno's statue down. Yeah, exactly. Like, it is serious. You know, like, so I think they're like being really good gatekeepers now. So I think he's a liability, and I don't know how much sympathy I have, because like I said, when you are a fiduciary and people's parents, they're sending their kids to your school, but you're violating rules before they even get there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, his character is kind of questionable. But I'm not judging him. I'm just saying, you know.
And you know, the fact of the matter is, you have to act responsibly, like you said. You have to act responsibly, and sometimes you do have to own up. I agree. You know, he doesn't have to take the fall for this entire thing, but he is going to be penalized. Yeah. And the only way that they can save himself is if the NCAA, for now, says, you know what, we screwed up this investigation, which it looks like there might be a case for because of certain details that were overlooked, or the fact that they went ahead and requested documents, banking documents, and the NCAA has no subpoena power. So this whole thing is now being looked at that the NCAA went forward illegally with this investigation. So if that happens, then maybe Clint Hurt gets a little bit of a pass for a little longer before the NCAA starts to do things right. But either way, this is going to be an interesting story, and we're going to keep track of it here on Triple Threat Talk, because it's not just a big local thing. No, it's national. Because of the way in Miami. This goes back to Nevin Shapiro. This goes back to other places, other organizations. And as Kendra said, this whole thing could redefine how the NCAA goes about doing their business later on in years. So, can you bring up a little bit of footage here?
What is it?
This Tom Brady thing.
Are we going to that first?
Yeah, we're going to go to that first.
Okay.
So, when this happened, and you're looking at this, and it looks like Brady sliding in the first base. When this happened, I looked at Dad and I said, there's going to be something from this. He said, there's nothing going to come from this. They didn't call a play. I was like, it doesn't matter. They're going back and they're calling helmet to helmet. They're catching helmet to helmets that weren't even called.
Yeah, that play.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think you know, that play. Thank God he's okay, because that play on Stephen Ridley, he just got knocked out. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if he was unconscious. Luckily he's okay, but he just got completely annihilated. But that should have been a penalty, I thought. But anyway, yeah, this Brady thing. It's, you know, when I first saw it, I was like, why is he sliding that way? He looks like he's playing a different sport. Like, what's he doing? I've seen Brady slide before. Here's the thing. If Brady slid that way before, I'd be like, something's wrong with him. He doesn't know how to slide. Somebody needs to teach that boy how to slide. But he knows how to slide. So why he slid with his leg in there, I have no idea why he did that.
He was trying to hurt Ed.
And now that he came out where he did text Ed Reed and apologize, so he knows what he was doing.
Exactly.
So, you know, we all know Tom Brady's a golden boy and he can't be touched, but as an NFL, you have to at least find this guy.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, it's setting a double standard, because you find defensive players for all these helmet-to-helmet hits and all this stuff. If you don't find Tom Brady, you look completely stupid, because he's like, oh, because it's Tom Brady. No, you make an example out of Tom Brady. You find him.
And all the stuff they did in New Orleans, like, no. They should find him because they pay him enough.
Right, exactly.
And I also think that when players do stuff like that, the helmet-to-helmet stuff, it should be like $2 million. Like, you want to risk somebody's life, then you're going to pay for it. Because if they die, then what can you do? Cover your funeral? Like, I hate that, and it makes my skin crawl when I see that. And it's just too risky. You know what I mean? Like, it's a full contact sport, so I think they should make an example out of it.
Well, and here's the thing about Brady getting fined. Say they found him like $25,000, which still makes that in like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
so it doesn't really matter.
Right.
But I mean, you're still
you have to making a point. You have to make an example at a time, because if you don't, every defensive player that gets fined for helmet to helmet, they're gonna be like, whoa, we get fined for this, but he doesn't get fined. Why? Because he's Tom Brady. That's not fair.
It's not fair. So. Yeah.
That should be with any player. Nobody should get, just like
no
they sent Michael Vick to jail. Anybody who does anything like anybody should be able to go.
Nobody's. I don't care if Peyton Manning did something. No one's untouchable.
I was just gonna say, like
he wouldn't do that, but anyways, he did.
Not that we think. So you know what's a good idea?
No.
Changing your game plan 2 days before a Super Bowl.
No, see, that's a bad idea.
Oh.
So you're not paying attention to the good idea, bad idea segment.
Oh, okay. I got that confused.
Okay.
Well, apparently Bill Callahan is now coming out and saying.
Well, he didn't. Tim Brown.
Tim Brown.
He's trying to defend himself.
That the game plan before Super Bowl
37
10 years ago was changed on the Friday before the game, and that John Gruden knew exactly what was going to be happening.
Well, here's the thing. I'll delve into more of this because I wrote this down for you. It's being. I'm not one to discredit Jerry Rice because he backed Tim Brown up in this on NFL Live. He backed him up, and I couldn't believe. Here's what was going on. What the game plan was on Tuesday for the Oakland Raiders going to the Super Bowl is that they were going to run the ball. They were going to run the ball with their power backs, John Ritchie and Clinton Garden. They were going to run the ball. Why would you run the ball when you have the MVP of the league and Rich Gannon and Jerry Rice and Tim Brown? Why would you? So then Friday they decided, let's throw everything out. We're going to throw the ball 60 times, and then Rich Gannon threw 5 interceptions, 3 returns for touchdowns. That's not. I don't think that is. I can understand why Tim Brown is frustrated. It was the only Super Bowl I think he was in. Jerry Rice has a million of them, but Tim Brown, it was the only Super Bowl he was in, and he lost, and they lost bad to the Bucs. It's a frustrating thing, and why he comes out 10 years later and says he sabotaged it makes no sense to me.
Right.
But the one thing that I said to you earlier that Bill Callahan should be looked at for, he didn't. I don't think he sabotaged. That's going a little bit too extreme. That's kind of like. Why would he sabotage his legacy of losing a Super Bowl? That's no. Not everyone wins a Super Bowl. Why would you sabotage? That makes no sense. The thing that kind of raises an eyebrow for me is everyone knows John Gruden was the coach of that before he was there in Oakland. He was the coach before, and Al Davis ran him out, and he went to Tampa Bay and won Super Bowl. John Gruden knew exactly every single play that was going on. He knew all the audibles. He knew every single play. Well, he didn't know exactly the plays, but he knew the audibles. When they changed the play, he's like, I know what that is. I know what that is. I know what that is. So that's and even John Lynch was saying, and I think he said later on, not after that, but later on he said, I knew exactly what they were doing. They know it. John Gruden, and that's where Bill Callahan's. Bill Callahan's idiotic for not doing that. He knew Gruden was there. He made these plays, the audibles. He didn't decide to change even one of them. It's like you're giving him an easy advantage to decide what you're doing. That makes no sense to me. That's where he should be at fault. He didn't sabotage the game, but to not change the audibles makes no sense.
I agree. I don't think you change the game plan that you're preparing for. I mean, back then,
have you ever heard that?
You had a week before the Super Bowl.
You have 2 now.
You have 2 now. And that's what you do. You prep. You get a game plan together. And I don't see why you would stray from that game plan.
Absolutely.
I think I remember the one big story out of that Super Bowl was there was tenor Barrett Robbins disappearing. I remember that, and that was I think that might have threw something off. But again, you were there. You were the coach there for a year. Change the audibles. Change things. You didn't know you were going to play John Gruden Super Bowl anyway. You didn't know at the beginning of the season, but I think when you saw you won the AFC Championship and they won the NFC Championship, you change your strategy because he knows what you're doing. So,
tell us in a few quick words about the Australian Open. And tell me about this Sloane girl who is apparently the next up and comer.
She's good. She's 19. American player. You hear a lot of these stories in tennis that these players play their idols. Like Federer played Sampras at Wimbledon and won, and last night Serena played Sloane Stephens and lost. It's the thing here is, in her opening match, Serena did roll through with 6 gloves, but she rolled her ankle, so that was kind of a question mark. If she's going to be healthy or not. And then, it was funny, but it's just, something's going on, and she goes for a shot, hits herself in the face with the racket. It's just like, she's not really thinking clearly. And then last night, she's playing. She won the first set pretty easily, 6-3. And she's playing along, and she tweaks her back. She's called the trend for back spasms. It just seems like she wasn't destined to win this match. And it was kind of a coming out party for Sloane Stephens. It's her first semifinal. She's going to play Azarenka, I think, tonight. So when this show airs, it'll probably be over. But she could win that match because Azarenka has had problems in the past in the heat in Australia. It's going to be like 90 degrees, so it's going to be hot weather. She could win this match. She easily gets her first final. I don't see her beating Sharapova, who's probably going to get there. But it's just, Serena was playing so well. And it's like I said, it's like kind of like the Ray Lewis thing. It was like destined to be. She rolled her ankle, having back spasms. It's just like she wasn't meant to win this tournament. Even though going in, it was like she's Finland going to win. She's playing better than anybody else. No one can stop her. And it's like this happens and this happens. It's like it's not your time.
The unexplainable.
Yeah, it's not your time. So, as far as the men's side goes. It's the same thing over and over again. The top four are there. Djokovic, Nadal not being there, Ferrer is in his spot, and Federer and Murray. Murray's going to play Federer, and Ferrer's going to play Djokovic. I don't see... Ferrer's playing very well. He was actually really close to losing the other night against his country mate, Nicholas Almagro. He could have lost. Almagro had 3 match points, one in the third, 2 in the fourth. He just couldn't convert him. Ferrer just battled him out. I don't see why I don't see Djokovic winning that match. Djokovic is playing very well. He had a 5-setter the other night against another Swiss, Wawrinka, and he battled through that and he won 12-10 in the fifth. I don't see why you won't get to the final. Murray and Federer is tricky. Murray and Federer, they played last year. Murray played Federer and back and forth. Federer struggled a little bit against Tsonga, but Federer was able to pull it out. Murray looks really good. Right? He looked better in his last match than Federer did. I would be surprised if Murray won, but I think Federer is playing a bit better moving-wise. But Murray looks really good right now. So Djokovic is going to get there. He's going to defend his title, but against who, it's a toss-up.
I hope it's Murray. I hope it's Murray. So, some early Super Bowl storylines that we want to bring to y'all's attention. We're going to delve into this probably an entire segment next week because it's the Super Bowl. Right. But just some things that you're aware of. For the first time ever, 2 brothers will be playing off in the Super Bowl.
It's any sport.
For any sport, yeah. Or anything. In the championship game, you have Jim and John Harbaugh. Their parents don't know if they're going to watch the game in Wisconsin alone or if they're going to be at the game.
And John is 15 months apart, right?
Yeah, John is older, about 15 months. Okay. And Jim has come out and said that I'm not even half the coach my brother is. So, I maybe agree with that, but the Harbaughs are good coaches.
Yeah,
but the thing here is, he may not be half the coach that his brother is, but there's more talent on that 49ers team than there is on that Ravens team.
You look at both coaches, okay? Before John Harbaugh got the Ravens weren't a bad team. They were decent. They had some good players. They were pretty decent every year.
Yeah.
The 49ers, sorry to tell you, they were a joke.
They were.
Before he got there, they went through Mike Singletary and Mike Nolan. It just wasn't working. And Harbaugh got there and he's just like, you know what? We have talent. I know how to utilize this. And look at them now. 2 straight NFC Championship games. This year in the Super Bowl. They've won the NFC West 2 years in a row. It's just like, that's good. That's good.
A legacy. He's started building a legacy.
It's back to legacy mode for the Niners. They're back to, they're in discussion every year now because of him. Last year they didn't know what he was going to do. It was his first year. Then look at them then and look at them now. I mean, they can go on a tear for the next couple of years.
Yep. There is talent on this Niners team that goes beyond anything that I've seen. You've got Aldon Smith, Justin Smith. You've got Colin Kaepernick, who is playing out of his mind. You have Patrick Willis, and there were several people that called this team Patrick Willis's team. You have Navarro Bowman. Even the punter and the kicker make headlines. And David Akers not so much lately, but lately, you know, he's had a stellar career. I'm willing to forgive him one season.
That's going to concern me in the Super Bowl.
Maybe.
If he comes down to a kick and he misses it, that's going to be real.
The way they're scoring touchdowns lately, though, I don't know.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying, look at the Atlanta game, okay? Atlanta scored a touchdown at the end of the game. They won that game 31-28. He makes that field goal, they would tie it. So, they didn't win, but I'm just saying, you know.
I mean, there is definitely talent on both teams. I mean, you can go down the list. The entire roster, most people have probably heard of that follow sports. I mean, there's just that many recognizable names.
I agree.
And no name more recognizable probably than Ray Lewis. And no matter what, his last game will be the Super Bowl. And we'll talk about that on the other end of the break. Stay tuned. Triple Threat Talk.
Hey Cam, thanks a lot for coming to my school today.
No problem, Nate.
I promise to exercise and eat right.
Don't forget 60 minutes of play a day, right?
And I'll grow up to be big and strong like you.
Absolutely.
And play in the NFL.
Yes, sir.
And be drafted #1.
Maybe.
And become the starting quarterback of the Panthers.
Okay.
You can be my backup.
Excuse me?
And make Panthers fans forget about you.
What?
And become your mom's favorite player.
Whoa.
I'm just loosening my arm.
Oh, hi, Tom.
Hey.
My little boy loves playing football.
It's a great game.
But what is the NFL doing to make the game safer?
We're doing a lot. Carl?
Well, Tom, we're developing new rules to better protect our players.
And over the next decade with the NFL Players Union, they're dedicating more than $100 million for medical research.
Wow.
As well as supporting the development of better and safer equipment.
And I feel a lot better about him playing.
Love to meet the little guy.
Ray, meet Tom.
Cute kid.
Welcome back to Triple Threat Talk. I am Gary the Dr. Locker next to just Kendra. And next to Big B.
Why can't I be just Big B?
No, that's
I can't have that name.
No.
You can be just B.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Big B.
So Ray Lewis, no matter what, there was a sign in Boston.
Yeah.
Do you have that picture? Can you put that picture up?
I'll find it.
Okay.
I can find it.
All right. The sign in Boston, X amount of days, X amount of hours till Ray Lewis's retirement party. Yeah, that didn't quite work out.
That happened twice. There was a local bar in Denver that was going to have a retirement party. I guess they kind of wasted the catering because it didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Right.
But Ray Lewis, no matter what, he is done after this season. He said it. His last game will be the Super Bowl, win or lose. That's
we're gonna ride off into the sunset. Either way.
Either way.
Right.
Either way, he's gonna ride off into the
He
sunset.
went out with a bang. He deserves it.
Yeah.
He has played and.
I don't think, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think there is one player in the history of football that loves the game more than Ray Lewis. He is just so passionate about the game, and
passionate about everything.
Well, I know, but I know he's going to do it. I am looking forward so much to see him do that dance one more time in the Super Bowl. Because he's going to be amped up to be there again, has been there since Super Bowl 35, 12 years ago, surprising. It's just, it's just like I said, I want him to win. Like, I have no favorite in this. I mean, I want to win for you because you've been through a lot, and I think it'd be nice for your team to win. But it's just like, as a fan of football, it's just like you want to see this guy win one more time.
The greats, like he sends chills through my body when I hear him talking. Talk about God and talk about it makes me emotional.
When he speaks, people listen.
It's serious.
And speaking of Ray Lewis, this was a rematch in a certain way.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis's very first sack in the NFL was against none other than Jim Harbaugh.
As a Colt, yeah.
As a Colt.
1996.
1996. Kaepernick is the first quarterback to play that started as a backup since 2003.
That would be Jake Delhomme.
Yes.
We don't know what happened to him. Oh wait, no, I don't.
No, we don't.
I know where he went.
Where'd he go? Joe Flacco has the most playoff road wins than any other QB in history.
Yeah, Flacco.
And he's got 6.
The thing about Joe Flacco is, I've said before, like the game after he played in Denver, I said he was the third best quarterback in the AFC behind Brady and Manning, which is I don't think too far off anyway. And I think he needs this game to cement his legacy as being elite. Everyone talks about elite. You have Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Eli Manning. I think Flacco needs this game to be considered elite. I think that he needs this game to cement that.
I think he does too. You know what? It's not so much that I think he needs it. I think getting there kind of proves that he might be a quarterback with the special stuff, because you're talking about as early as last year people were saying he didn't have what it takes.
Well, look at it this way. Look at it. I mean, last year he had what it takes. He played better than Brady, just the kicker missed the field goal.
Right. And we can talk about these games. I kind of want to break into the games a little bit. San Francisco down 17-0. And 1 in 25 in that situation since the inception, since 2003. And, they come back phenomenally. The defense holds and holds and holds. And they wound up winning 28-24.
Right.
21 of those points unanswered.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Kudos to the 49ers. Really. That's a tough thing to do, especially for a kid that's just starting
and on the road.
It's impressive.
His 9th game as a starter, you kidding? And he goes to an Atlanta hostile crowd that's wants to a Super Bowl so bad, and obviously he's down 17 points. I'm sure Jim Harbaugh was saying, "Look, it's okay. I trust you."
I'm gonna put in Alex Smith.
He's like, "I trust you. You can get this done. I believe in you. That's why I put you in this spot." And I think guarantee Kaepernick. Obviously, he came through.
Yeah.
But in terms of that, Atlanta has problems. They were up 20-0 against Seattle, and I'll say the Seattle should have won that football game. They should have. They came back strong. They fought hard. They were the better team that day. Just Atlanta came out in the end.
Yeah.
They're up 17-0 last week. They start fast and they finish slow. It's just like you can't start with a big lead like that and then you just fall apart. It's
the stories of the tortoise and the hare, and that's what burns a lot of teams. Come out gunning, but fourth quarter, like it's all about. It's all about the fourth quarter.
It's like they're going 100 miles an hour for a while, and then it's like we're gonna go 50 for the rest of the way just to be safe. No, you finish the game.
And as good as that San Francisco defense is, anybody, if you come out gunning like that, you're gonna put up points because you are on a mission to gun.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, the defense held for them to answer 21 unanswered points. So the defense showed up when they figured out what was going on, when they were able to slow down this attack, and then they only allowed one more touchdown the whole rest of the game.
The one thing I liked about San Francisco's offense in that game, and this shows how smart Jim Harbaugh and their coaching staff is, they knew Atlanta's seen this before. They knew I've seen it twice with Kendra, and they saw it last week with Russell, or the week before with Russell Wilson. So they know, Colin, I don't think the read option is going to work here. You're going to be running around. There's going to be a spot on you. He didn't really run around on that game. He threw the ball and ran with Frank Gore and Michael James. That's what won in that football game.
Yep.
So that looks good against the Ravens. And bear in mind, I think they're going to try the read option again to see what works. They don't really have. They've only seen one game was against the Redskins, and RG3 got hurt, so it kind of didn't really. They couldn't really get a good film on it. So they're probably going to try it, but the way he played that game, he didn't really do what he's used to. He didn't really run the ball. He threw the ball and ran the ball with, like I said, Gore and James. So it's kind of different for that offense to win that way.
Another big thing that they did was they exploited Atlanta's weakness with the tight ends. I mean, they have been giving up huge chunks of yardage to every tight end in the league, and Vernon Davis was no exception.
Yeah, they did it with Vernon Davis. They did it before with Zach Miller for Seattle. It's just like, cover him. Vernon Davis is like wide open every play.
Those are mistakes that, it might work against some teams, but when you get a team like you just can't. When you get a team like the 49ers,
you can't do that. And,
even a team like Seattle, they just, like you said, Seattle is a better team. Yeah. You can't do it with them either, but
even with to that point, even with the 49ers, they were covering Tony Gonzalez. Yeah. They let him have a little bit of breathing room, but that was their threat. Yeah. And their bigger threat that night was Julio Jones. I mean, jeez, who does that? It comes right out of the gate, 100 yards in the first quarter, 2 touchdowns. Are you kidding me?
I thought, after they beat Seattle, even this season, I would look watching Atlanta a couple of times this year just to see them. It seems like he was that missing piece for them because he was a fantastic receiver. Julio, he is fantastic.
Right.
He is a top tier receiver if there ever was one in any league, NFC or AFC. But it's just like they still can't get that job done. They still can't get back to where they got to, like when '98 when they were Super Bowl. It's just what are they missing? It's what is missing from that team? Either it's I don't know what it is. You just can't see it. They have a great aerial attack. I don't know what's going on. I don't get it.
And then from the NFC, of course, you go to the AFC, and you look at there was just dominant performance by the Ravens.
Yeah.
I mean, when I thought the Patriots would win this game at home, they've got time to prepare. They've got Tom Brady, they've got Wes Welker, they've got Stephen Ridley, they've got Shane Vereen, they've got Danny Woodhead,
Brandon Lloyd.
They've got Brandon Lloyd, you've got Aaron Hernandez, you've got Kyle Arrington.
They had to keep the lead for like one quarter.
Yeah, but the Ravens come in, they stick to a game plan. Ray Lewis goes crazy with tackles. Ray Lewis is on top of everything. He even gets a couple dirty hits in, but that's just to mess up timing,
Yeah.
That's just, it wasn't anything dirty,
No.
but it was definitely a message. Hey, we're not going to let you guys push us around.
Right.
If you want to win this, you're going to have to figure out a way to deal with a couple bumps.
And the thing that
and they can't.
Yeah, the thing that surprised me, they shut out New England in the second half. 21-0 Baltimore. That was surprising.
And I'll tell you what, I completely agree with what Shannon Sharp said. He drew some fire for what he said about Bill Belichick.
I agree. You don't do that.
100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody talks after a loss, and the fact how Bill Belichick handles his business with the Patriots makes the Patriots a hated team. Because you've got Tom Brady, who if you touch him, pass interference, roughing the passer.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then you've got his wife who says horrible things about Ray Lewis.
Wes
Welker's wife. I'm sorry.
Don't blame Giselle.
I'm sorry. Wes Welker's wife comes out and says horrible things about Ray Lewis.
Stuff for you anyway.
Right, but you don't say those kind of things. You keep professionalism.
She did apologize, but it's like, why
no, you don't apologize. You don't get to apologize.
Well, I'm just saying she did, but it's like, why did you do it in the first place?
Right. But the fact of the matter is people need to be more mindful and more respectful about their situations. Yeah. And Bill Belichick should have held his head high, extended his hand and said, you know what, Ray?
You're the better team.
You earned this, Ray.
Yeah.
You earned this because you know, this is your last year. It's no longer about me. It's no longer about us. You beat us. You were the better man.
You do it. You always have to keep a sense of dignity, and that's just like in a basketball game. You don't run the score up. If you're winning by 80 points, you don't hit 100. Like, you know what I mean? Like you have some class.
Right.
And I just kind of feel like he just didn't have that, and that's embarrassing, and it's disappointing.
It looks bad on their part. It's, you know, it's obviously there's hated teams out there. We've mentioned Pittsburgh because of their fans, the way they react. New England did the same thing. I heard people were taunting Torrey Smith about his brother dying. Why would you do that? It's just awful.
That's horrible.
It's just and it, you know, the coach time reflects the team kind of the way they were handling themselves.
Absolutely.
It's like Bill Belichick. He's in his hoodie. He's a very quiet person. He seems like he's like the most depressed person in the world. He has one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. How could you be depressed? But then it's like this is part of sports. Be a sportsman. Be you know,
sportsmanship.
Exactly.
That's the first thing they teach little kids. Like in Little League, you everybody goes to shake
like, for example, when I played tennis match in high school, if I got beat bad, I didn't say I don't want to shake your hand. You shake their hand because it's a sport. You're supposed to show respect to their opponent.
Absolutely.
When he did that, he's like, I'm gonna talk to media. I'm a sore loser. It's like, you don't do that. You went into this profession because you love the competitive nature of the sport, and you're not gonna take in the part that's a huge part of sports. Then get out of the league. If you're gonna be that way, just leave. That just makes no sense to me.
And because his players are looking at him like, this is my head coach. So like, if they just decide to be,
it makes them look bad.
One apple, and this is the head apple. You know what I mean? Like, it's horrible. He should be fine.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp was on the money. I don't care how much good flack he got. He was absolutely correct.
I agree with him. 100%. I agree with everything the man said.
Even if you feel this way, like I don't want to do this, just swallow your pride, little pride you have.
You don't have to say much. Shake Harbaugh's hand, say good game, good luck, and talk to Ray Lewis. That's it. That's it. But that sets us up for what will be the most anticipated Super Bowl of all time.
Harbaugh Bowl.
The Harbaugh. We had it last year on Thanksgiving. This year, there's no stage bigger. And you got Beyonce there. I don't know how that could get any better.
Hope she doesn't lip sync again.
Oh my God.
She did. They confirmed it. She did.
Yeah, and it turns out that Whitney Houston lip synced her the national anthem when she was doing it. They came out and said that too.
But we both know these people who can just sing.
Yeah, Beyonce can
blow a house down.
Beyonce is amazing.
She can sing the phone book.
I love that girl. She's awesome. She's gorgeous too.
She is.
Also, it's going to be a good, Super Bowl in terms of talent they have. Obviously, Alicia Keys singing the national anthem. She can sing too. Beyonce's going to be good.
You know, I used to like Alicia Keys. I really did. And then she did like some music. She started wailing. It wasn't like singing.
Like the piano thing she used to do.
Yeah. But I like when she used to play the piano, and then she started singing like off the wall stuff, and I'm just like.
And she took, Swiss Beats.
Yes.
Wife.
Yes. I'm sitting there like, come on, girl, get it together. You got more talent than this.
Another thing is you gotta.
I'm glad you agree with me on that because not many people do.
I like her, but on that Empire State of Mind song she did with Jay-Z, he sent it back to her when she first sent it to him. He sent it back and she was offended. Like, what? I can sing. He was like, no, this sounds horrible. Like, you need to fix it. So that's what he told her. Like,
on the Super Bowl note, either of you have $4 million lying around?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because CBS is charging up to $4 million for a 30-second spot in a commercial.
That's kidding.
So hopefully they show up to $4 million for that. That's a lot of money. You better make your commercial good.
Oh my God! I wish I could make a commercial.
So, I heard that they're going to be doing a spot on Manti Te'o's girlfriend. It's just going to be a white screen. My tweet, by the way, was epic.
I saw that.
That was amazing. Did you see my tweet?
No.
What was it? 2 days ago. Yeah. 2 days ago, I woke up and I didn't have anything else to say or do. So I said, man, I just woke up next to Manti Te'o's girlfriend, and I see right through her.
That was good.
Postmaster Jimmy said, boo. I thought it was good.
That was good.
So we'll finish up. We'll hit on some Royal Rumble headlines, some OVW headlines. Kind of ease our way out of the sports sphere, if you will, and go into the entertainment sphere. And we'll do it all next. We'll wrap up the show, talk about some wrestling right after this on Triple Threat Talk.
Hey, Nick Dinsmore here. Do you have the dream of becoming a pro wrestler? Well, I did, and I came to Ohio Valley Wrestling. Join the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class today. I'm a former WWE superstar, I'm a former 9-time Ohio Valley Wrestling heavyweight champion, and I can train you to be the best today. For all the information regarding the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class, go to ovwrestling.com and click on school. Join the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class today. ovwrestling.com, click on school.
I mean, we're sitting here ragging Big B because of his football picks, and we brought up the point that, you know, she got a game right last week, which beats him at 0-2 in the playoffs. And of course, you got me and Postmaster nipping on each other's heels all the time. But no matter what, I can't lose this guy this year. The most Postmaster can do is tie me, and due to the honor rule, that would mean I would retain top Dino. So for 2 years in a row, I'm top Dino.
Pretty impressive.
But Kendra's already stomping a mud hole in you, so
I still hedged my knowledge of football when I told Terry the Seahawks were 11-5. He looked at me like I was completely insane.
You know what, though? He had his opinion, and his opinion was that of everybody else's except for ours.
Yeah.
And you know, Terry's he's privy to that. That's fine. Yeah. But at the same time, the original three here, Triple Threat Talk, me, you, and Jimmy, we told everybody that the Chiefs were simply not going to be as good as everybody thought.
I don't know where anyone got that idea.
I don't know where people thought that they were going to wake up and just start clicking, because there were no added pieces to that puzzle to get them clicking.
Did they think Jamal Charles was enough to get him 10 wins?
I guess they did. Here's
the thing about the Chiefs. I know we're going to talk about wrestling, but it's like everyone's so like predicated on Matt Castle because he won 11-5 in New England. It's because he was in New England.
Right.
That's the system he was in. He goes to Kansas City and he can't play. Right. And they have Brady Quinn playing.
It's never a good idea to get football game wins.
Like I can tell you this much. Kansas City will be better next year. Maybe Andy Reid, they'll get more than 2 wins. I would hope. They gotta figure out that quarterback.
Hit up OVW once again. We don't go a lot right now. We're gonna start maybe going soon, but OVW, we definitely want to thank them for everything they've done for us in the past and everything they continue to do for us. I want to shout out and say, Michael Titus, you know, you can do what you do. We want you on the show, buddy. At least I do. If anything, I'll do a doc spot with you because I think you're an interesting guy. So, and I think that Terry Bodie's attacks on you are just insane, and they are just ridiculous. And you know what? The doctor thinks you deserve a shot to defend yourself. So we would love to have you on the show.
Riveting.
I know, it's riveting stuff.
Yes.
You know what? Just because you side with the fan advocate, kind of our boss, doesn't mean that your opinion is right.
You know what?
What?
I'd rather talk to Manti Te'o's girlfriend than hear that.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, obviously go to
ovwrestling.com.
Also ovmania.blogspot.
And also ovmania.blogspot. Check out our good friend Brian Cannon. Always got some interesting stuff. Always interesting point of view.
Another thing, I want to actually congratulate Rockstar Spud, who won TNA British Boot Camp the other night. It was a British thing they had going on with TNA and OVW. He won that. I actually saw him when he was there in OVW. He actually was very good. I think he worked the crowd very well. So he really deserves to win. Congratulations to him.
And the Blossom Twins definitely hanging in there till the end too. Yeah. I mean, they're just amazing talent.
Yeah,
you know,
they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. So with that, what happened on OVW this week? Take it away.
I don't know. Why you asking me that?
It's on the notes.
I just put you went in a spiel for that reason.
The Gilly guy.
That's why I said go to ovmania.blogspot.
There's a guy in the Gilly side. What's going on is this. There's a guy in the Gilly suit that's hanging around with Jason Wayne and them now, the Coalition. And now Jason Wayne and Crimson are your tag team champions, because I keep up with it. So this Gilly suit guy is going around stalking everybody that's got a claim in for the championship. And this past week, this past Saturday Night Special, the Mascara Mafia put in their bid to be the #1 contenders after they beat out 3 other teams that included the returning Ted McNailer and Adam Revolver. They're back to that team again, drinking their moonshine. So it was definitely some good stuff. They've got a lot of interesting things coming. This coalition thing is actually really cool.
Yeah, I like that idea.
They've got a large group of guys, and that's what does well in wrestling. You know, a large faction that knows what they're doing. But come on, let's lose the cheesy nicknames. The communicator, Joel Coleman, really?
Come on. Jack Knight, Joel Coleman.
He's the communication specialist, and now the wild cards are the scouts.
That's not bad.
That's horrible.
It's not bad.
It's horrible.
Not as bad as a communications specialist. Something you do in an office building. What's your job? I'm a communications specialist.
But the nicknames have got to go, but I agree with everything that you guys are doing. Jason Wayne is doing this country a favor, fighting for freedom wherever there's trouble. Jason Wayne is there. It's like paraphrasing G.I. Joe.
Jason Wayne was there. G.I. Joe.
Yeah, but anyways, they got some good stuff. It's definitely a good time to get in with the coalition, with OVW and the coalition. And one Miss Taylor Hendricks is maybe weighing her option on joining the coalition.
She needs to go to TNA.
I think she does, but at the same time,
she's done all she needs to do.
She's done all she needs to do at OVW. I hate to see her go because she's a good friend of ours. She's a good friend of mine, and you know it's just time to go to the next level.
Guys, it's $5.
It's $5. The best entertainment in town. If you are around this city, if you are around Louisville, any way that you go, come in on a Wednesday night. Check out OVW because it is getting good again. It really is. And you know, we were criticizing them because of some of the stuff that was going on. But the fact of the matter is,
maybe they've been watching.
They're getting good again. Things are starting to pick up, and I'm excited to go back and start watching some of this stuff again finally because they've got what they need to do now. They're going forward. They're doing good things. Check them out. We want to thank Terry Bodie and Cheryl Connolly for everything they do. Check us out on thefanadvocate.com and check out all the good content that they put up. You put up a blog recently. I'm working on a blog. I'm getting some information together, working on a blog, and I know PostMaster's working on a blog again. So keep us up to keep watching us on thefanadvocate.com and just check out all the good content that they throw out there.
Yep, absolutely.
And with that brings us to the Royal Rumble.
Right. Before we get into the Royal Rumble, the promo by John Cena on Raw was abysmal. It was, you know, as someone as good as he is on the mic, it was odd. I don't know what he was talking about. I couldn't make 2 cents of it. It looks like he was. It looks like, you know, when like you have an idea on the wall and just throw darts to see what sticks. Nothing was sticking. It was all falling. It was falling apart. I didn't know what he was talking about. I could not follow him whatsoever. And for Johnson to do that, it's odd. I just didn't get what was going on.
I mean, I didn't hear much about it. I didn't really watch Raw on Monday night. I didn't really see what was going on. But I did hear that maybe they almost lost their PG rating for a couple of things.
Yeah, it was going weird.
But yeah, I think I heard that what happened between Wade Barrett and Dolph Ziggler possibly set up Wade Barrett to maybe win the Royal Rumble. Maybe. So I think I'm going to lock in Wade Barrett as my pick to win the Rumble. I think that's a good idea for the company to go, something for them to do, and work on the next up-and-comer because, you know what, he's a great Intercontinental Champion, and I think he deserves that next step. So, we have Miz versus Anthony Cesaro on the pre-show. Antonio Cesaro in the pre-show. Who you got?
As, you know, they're trying to make the Miz, for some reason the Miz is doing the figure 4. I don't understand that at all. I thought his finisher was fine. I don't see Cesaro losing this title right now. I think they're really high on him. I don't see him losing.
I agree. I think Cesaro. Do you want to weigh in, or do you... Not really. I don't blame you. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I don't blame you.
Because I want to guess, you know,
okay,
be kind of accurate.
That's fine. That's cool. Team Hell No versus Rhodes Scholars. I think Hell No is going to win this one.
Hell No's had it long enough. I think they're really high on Cody Rhodes and Sandow as a team.
But you've been thinking that for a while.
I don't know why I even bother talking.
I'm just saying.
I think Rhodes Scholars wins this match.
Del Rio and who?
Big Show.
Big Show, Del Rio. They're not going to give back to Big Show.
Who cares? I don't really care for Del Rio. He's a face now. How that happened, I have no idea. The Big Show, I can't stand the Big Show. I'm sorry. So it's kind of like who do I hate less? I hate Del Rio less. So I guess I pick Del Rio.
CM Punk versus The Rock.
I know you know who The Rock is.
Yeah,
okay.
I love The Rock.
Okay.
I know what The Rock is cooking.
There you go. You know, Punk's had this belt for over a year and a half. He's never faced someone like The Rock yet. He's faced, you know, John Cena and Dolph Ziggler and you know, everyone down the line. But he's facing a guy that has been on Ghana for a long, long time. I don't know. I could see either one of them winning, But for some reason, I see The Rock winning the rematch. This is tough.
I don't see Rock becoming the champ because he's not really signed on any more than any.
But after WrestleMania,
yeah. I don't see it.
In terms of what we said earlier, me and Jimmy talked about, I think The Rock's going to win because I see him being champion into WrestleMania, so I picked The Rock.
I wouldn't be surprised if Wade Barrett wins the Royal Rumble, and that's frankly who I'm picking. I think that they're showing that he's got the talent. That's who they're pushing. Mm-hmm. I think with the events, if what I read is to be believed and what happened, I think that what happened between Dolph Ziggler and Wade Barrett sets up Wade Barrett to win. I really do.
In terms of Rumble,
you got 30 choices.
As a fan, I'd like Cody Rhodes to win. I think he deserves it. But as an expert on the show, I have to pick John Cena. I just have to. It seems like they're setting up for him to win, so I can fight The Rock again. So I pick John Cena.
Okay. Well, with that being said, you got a wild card?
I have 2 wild cards. One's short and one's a little bit more in depth.
All right, go ahead.
And we were supposed to have the tennis expert on the show last week, and he had the flu. Everyone had the flu. And then this week he had some kind of field trip, whatever, so he couldn't be able to be the show. I'm going to try to get an interview off the show and then put it somewhere on either the Fan Advocate or on YouTube, probably both, so you can see the interview in full. We'll talk about the Australian Open and see what he thinks about the future, what's going on in 2013. Hopefully I can get that this week because I kind of like to have you guys look at it and get it for myself for the show. So that's my quick wild card. My other wild card is, did you hear about Jamarcus Russell?
Yeah, he's planning a comeback.
He's planning a comeback. He used to weigh 320 pounds. He's at 308 pounds. Good luck to him. I hope he does it. But it's just like, he was so bad coming out of that draft. And the people that were there was Calvin Johnson and Adrian Willis and Patrick Willis. My God, the talent in that draft pool. And he was drafted first, and he goes to Oakland and he stinks it up. And he's completely. I mean, like, people were comparing Ryan Leaf. I don't think he was that bad because Ryan Leaf was more heavily touted than Jamarcus Russell was. But good luck to him. I hope he can do this. But he's going to have to really work at it. The guy is 300 plus. He's going to get down to... He was 260 when he came out of the draft.
He's working with Jeff Garcia and Marshall Falk and all them. So I think he's got a good shot.
Good luck to him. Obviously this would be a great story.
And whoever signs him is going to end up paying the bare minimum until they weigh the risk of...
Yeah, I agree. What can you lose? I mean, the Jets could sure use it.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets could use anybody right now. I mean, hell, I could walk on and play quarterback with the Jets.
I could use that kid from the Cam Newton commercial.
Yeah, it's warming up my throwing on.
That's my wild card.
I don't really have a wild card this week. How about you?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Do we have an idiot of the week?
Other than Bill Belichick, no.
Okay.
All right, so... that does it for the show this week. If you want to like us on Facebook, please do it at facebook.com/triplethreattalk. You can follow us on Twitter at triplethreattalk. He says any comment or question you have at triplethreattalk@yahoo.com. And of course, visit our fabulous website, triplethreattalk.com. So for Triple Threat Talk, this is Big B.
This is Gary the Dr. Lockhart saying thank you, Cheryl Connolly. Thank you, Terry Bodie. Thank you, OVW Wrestling. Thank you, Brian Cannon. Thank you guys for everything you do and continuing to be part of the Triple Threat Talk family. This is Gary the Dr. Lockhart.
And this is just Kendra. You guys have a nice night.
Thanks, everyone. Enjoy Royal Rumble. We shall see you next week.